Hi everyone, this is Point Trippers. Today, my husband and son are heading to Alexandria. Alexandria is the second largest city in Egypt, after Cairo. They considered booking a day tour through Expedia. It costs around $90 for a round trip from Cairo by private car. But in the end, my husband thought it might be nicer to stay overnight at a hotel with a sea view, so he booked a bus instead. Since they planned to start sightseeing right after arriving, they only packed a few essentials in a backpack. They left their main luggage at the Ramses Hilton in Cairo for the night. The bus was booked through a company called Go Bus. It departs Cairo at 7:47 a.m. and arrives in Alexandria around 11 a.m. The return trip is scheduled for the next day at 10:30 a.m. from Alexandria. Conveniently, the Go Bus terminal is located right in front of the Ramses Hilton. They chose the business class bus, which has a 1x2 seat layout. Tickets cost 250 Egyptian pounds per person one way, about $5. There's a discount for round trips, so the total for both of them came to 750 pounds, or $15. For the outbound trip, they booked a single-level elite business bus. The return trip will be on a double-decker business class bus. Alexandria is famous for being a center of culture, learning, and trade during the Roman and Hellenistic periods. It was home to the legendary Library of Alexandria, once the largest in the ancient world, and the Lighthouse of Alexandria, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. The city is known for its Roman ruins, like the Roman theater and underground catacombs. As soon as they arrived, my husband and son headed to the catacombs of Qam el-Shakafa, which are the closest site to the bus terminal. They took an Uber, which cost just $1. The catacombs were built during the Roman Empire, sometime between the 2nd and 3rd centuries AD. Admission fees for all historical sites in Alexandria are 180 Egyptian pounds for adults and 120 for students, a total of 300 pounds, or about $6. While Roman catacombs are often thought of as Christian hiding places during persecution, this one seems to have served more as a communal burial site. It has 3 underground levels and was carved directly into the rock. You can see both Egyptian mythology and Roman-style carvings throughout. About a 10-minute walk from the catacombs is an ancient Roman monument known as Pompey's Pillar. An entrance was $6. It stands 27 meters tall and was erected around AD 297 in honor of Emperor Diocletian, after he suppressed a rebellion and helped rebuild the city. There are Sphinx statues nearby, showing the blending of Roman and Egyptian cultures during that time. After visiting a few more sites, my husband and son were planning to eat a bit later, but my son got hungry, so they called an Uber and headed to a seafood place they had looked up earlier. The ride cost just $1. The restaurant is called Fish Market, known for its sea views and fresh seafood that's cooked on the spot. My son chose seafood Alfredo pasta, and my husband had his eye on paella. But since the restaurant is also known for letting you pick your own fish, they couldn't resist. They ended up ordering mullet, priced at 405 pounds, but didn't realize that was per kilo. They got 3 fish. The paella they ordered turned out to be a large portion meant for 3 people, plus the pasta. Definitely more food than they expected. Lunch came out to 1,160 pounds, about $23. Still, my husband said it was cheaper than the place the tour guide had taken them to the day before, so they were happy. My husband said they got there just after noon and had no trouble getting a table. But by 1 p.m., a line had already formed outside. So if you're planning to go, try to get there early. After lunch, they took a 10-minute walk along the coast to Kite Bay Citadel, a fortress built on the site of the ancient lighthouse of Alexandria. The lighthouse, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, stood between 100 and 130 meters tall and was built in the 3rd century BC. It was destroyed by a series of earthquakes between the 10th and 14th centuries, and in the 15th century, the citadel was built using its remains. Admission is $6. Exploring the rooms inside the fortress is a unique experience. Some ceilings have holes that were used to pour hot oil on invaders, and the clever design includes small air vents throughout the building for ventilation. Pretty impressive for such an old structure. The cool sea breeze and panoramic view of the Alexandria skyline meeting the Mediterranean make the visit even more memorable. After leaving the citadel, they took a taxi to their next stop, the modern Library of Alexandria. The fare was 100 Egyptian pounds, about $2. The original Library of Alexandria was one of the most important libraries of the ancient world. Built in the 3rd century BC, it was said to have housed around 400,000 scrolls, including the famous Greek translation of the Hebrew Bible, known as the Septuagint. Unfortunately, it was destroyed by fire during the Roman period, and to this day, the exact location of the original library remains unknown. But in 2002, a new library was built to honor the legacy of the ancient one. Today's Library of Alexandria is a striking modern building with over 2 million books. It's not free to enter. Admission for 1 adult and 1 student was 170 pounds, or about $3. From here, they switched back to Uber. Alexandria, along with Cairo, is one of the only cities in Egypt where Uber operates. No need to negotiate fares, and the prices were reasonable. My husband said he really liked that. Their next destination was the Roman amphitheater. The Uber cost just $1, and entrance was $6. Built in the 2nd century AD, the amphitheater is a reminder of how far Roman influence once reached, even into Egypt. They thought it was just a theater, but as they explored the site, they found the remains of ancient Roman baths, and even a section with tiles shaped like birds. About a 10-minute walk from there is St. Mark's Church. Mark, the author of the Gospel of Mark, is believed to have brought Christianity to Alexandria, and he's recognized as the first pope of the Coptic Orthodox Church. This church was built to honor him. Alexandria has deep ties to early Christianity. According to the Book of Acts, Apollos, one of the early Christian missionaries, was also born in Alexandria. All of this is what my husband told me after the trip, but seeing it all now in the video really brings it to life. That wraps up their day in Alexandria. It was a short visit, but they managed to see most of the major sites. They were on their feet all day right after getting off the bus, but the clear April weather made everything easier. And my son said he really had a good time. Now it's finally time to check into the hotel. It's about a 20-minute ride from the city center. Uber fare was $2. My husband and son stayed at the Hilton Alexandria Corniche. There are actually 3 Hilton properties in Alexandria, but he chose this one for its stunning sea view. You might remember, I mentioned earlier that our family has a lot of Hilton points. This particular hotel usually requires about 25,000 points for a standard room, but this time, they didn't book a basic room. Since my husband is a gold member, there's always a chance of a free upgrade, but we didn't want to take any risks. So instead of waiting to be upgraded, we went ahead and booked an executive room with a full sea view using a mix of points and cash. That way, they could also access the lounge and enjoy dinner there, which was another big plus. The executive room costs about 48,000 points, nearly double the standard rate. But if you book using both points and cash, it turns out to be a great deal. Just 9,000 points plus $100. Now, did we actually pay $100 out of pocket? Not really. Thanks to the Hilton Surpass credit card we both have, we get up to $50 back each quarter on Hilton purchases. And since neither of us had used our credits for this quarter yet, we split the $100 charge across our 2 cards, meaning we'll get it all back. So in the end, we're only spending 9,000 points for this amazing room. And now, let me show you the room they stayed in. It comes with a gorgeous view of the Mediterranean, stretching out endlessly. This Hilton has an unusual setup. The executive lounge is on the first floor. Despite being advertised as light dinner, they were actually served a full meal, and it was anything but light. It turns out the food was really good. My son said it was the best thing he's eaten in Egypt so far. Tomorrow, they'll be heading back to Cairo and then straight on to Giza, where the Great Pyramid is. Their return bus leaves at 10:30 in the morning, so they'll plan to leave the hotel at least an hour earlier, just to be safe. And that wraps up today's episode of Point Trippers. Thanks for watching.